Hi, this is Paul Slack. It's Good News Planet. I'm speaking to Harris Glasser. Hi, Harris. How are you?
Wonderful, Paul. How are you doing today?
Okay, good. Hey, listen, it's my money and I want it. I have to laugh. That's Harris's book. That's the name of it.
That's it.
All righty. Tell us about it.
Okay, first I'll tell you how it came to be. It was an interesting thing. Every day I'd come home from work, and my wife would say, "What'd you get me? What'd you get me? What'd you get me?" So one day I said, "Don't you ever think of giving?" She said, "Sure. What are you going to give me? What are you going to give me?" So I laughed, and I said...
She's not listening now, is she?
No. And I said, "What do you say things like that?" And she said, "Simple, because it's my money and I want it." I said,
okay.
So there you go. That's a very appropriate name for the book. It was terrific. So,
all right, and so you got her a book.
I wrote her a book. Yeah.
What else? And you can talk about her. All right. So tell us about it, though. With a great title like that, with a supportive wife as a research partner in this. What's the book about?
What's it about? Okay, today, I don't have to tell you, Paul, everybody's hurting. Everyone needs more money, either wants or needs more money today. And there's a million books out there on how to get rich or make $1 million, or how to invest your money or sit home, make six-figure income. To me, that's science fiction. That's not reality. What this book about is reality. You know, it's the paycheck you take home every week, Paul, the paycheck I take home every week, everyone takes home, that's reality. That's what's real. That's what's going on in our lives. And so what the book is about is I teach people to utilize the income that they have right now to a point so efficient that what happens is where they thought they were budgeting their money and watching it, but when you really start to get efficient, all of a sudden you start to have excesses left over. So that I know a couple in L.A. who read the book, listened to some of the lectures, and they actually cut their living expenses. And they have the 3 kids and the 2 cars and the piano lessons. Nothing changed. But by getting really efficient with their money, they actually cut 20% off their living expenses. Now that's incredible, because I'll make up a number. Yeah, let's say it's costing you $70,000 a year to live. Can you imagine all of a sudden you have $14,000 left over at the end of the year? So that's what the book is about: learning to utilize the income you have now more efficiently.
Does that go back to the old adage, a penny saved is a penny earned?
Yeah, that's a funny thing. When I was growing up, I wanted to be rich. So I said to my dad, I wanted to be rich. And he said to me, "Hey, Harris," he says, "what would you do if you got rich? Lay in a beach all day, not work? You'd get bored. Eat 2 extra slices of pizza, wear 2 pair of pants at one time?" He says, No. He says, just whatever you're looking for, you're going to find in the middle of your day or middle of your activities. I knew what he was saying, but I wanted to be rich. As a youngster, I wanted to be rich. So I said, "Dad, how much money do I need to be rich?" And he said, "Harris, if you'll always spend $1 less than you earn, you'll always be rich. But if you always spend $1 more than you earn, no matter how much you earn, you're always going to be poor." So with that, I had also was a high school teacher who had said to me, "Harris, one day you're going to be very successful no matter what you do." He said, "Because you always find the best and easiest ways to do things." So now, Paul, that was an interesting thing, because when you put together always spending $1 less, yet always finding the best and easy ways to do things, my life was such that people earning the same income as I had in the same family situation, I lived a lot better, had a lot more, and did a lot more things. All because I found the best and easiest ways to do things, which was basically I was just utilizing my dollars to efficiency, so there was never wastage. And it's not like a scrimp and save thing, not at all. It's just doing things smartly, and you have excesses of money.
Harris, let me give us an example here. We want the people to actually now. What should somebody do?
Okay, so here's an interesting. There's no one big thing. In other words, do this and you're going to save $7,000 a year. You see, it doesn't work like that. What it has really to do with is a mindset. Okay, and it's all. You see, anything that I name is going to sound trivial. You'll save $3 a day here, $5 a day here.
Oh, it amounts up, Harris.
There you go.
I don't think it's trivial at all. I live my life this way. So
right.
I know I put a kid through college. I got bought that place, and I don't make a lot of money. So I have to live this way, and I have my entire life because I never made a lot of money. So, but I've had my ways of doing it. You tell me what some of the the little thoughts that you have in this regard.
I'll give you
thoughts.
Sure, little examples. And this is just an obvious thing. I think most people know. You can have 4 people sitting on an airplane, and everyone paid a different price for the seat. One person paid $300, one paid $800, and someone flew for points. Let's say it may sound like a poor example, but it's an example how everyone's doing the same thing, but spending differently. I have a couple. They wrote me from Sarasota, Florida. In fact, they're in the book. A little story of. They were renting a house, and the person passed away, went to an estate, and their rent was going to be raised several $100s a month. We discussed it, told them what to do, and they actually sent me an email. It was not only not raised, it was lowered several $100s a month. Paul, $400 a month difference, over $5,000 at the end of the year in their checkbook without doing anything.
Okay.
It was someone else who was interesting. Their lease was up. They live in Manhattan, 56 Broadway. Their lease was going up quite a bit. They were able to afford it. So I said, so what? Okay, everything is negotiable. Okay, sure enough, they put it out to the owners of the building. It's a big building, 56 in Broadway. They got reduced $50 a month, the increase. Not much, but for doing nothing, $600 left in their checkbook at the end of the year. And Paul, what I'm saying to you, it's endless. From the time you buy your first cup of coffee in the morning to shutting down your energy in your house, your electric, your air conditioning, it is endless. People write me and keep telling me of ways, and I scratch my head. I go, oh my God! I laugh. I say sometimes you can almost live negatively in terms of getting
I'm
money.
on the same page here with you. I agree entirely. I look at people spending $3 for a cup of coffee, and I think McDonald's has a $1 sale now. I mean, people have to though live their life. Some people do want to sit in first class, and they're willing to pay that extra couple bucks, right? And somebody does want to go into a one of these more well-known coffee places, as opposed to go to the the little deli and get it for a buck. I'll spend $3. So I guess you have to evaluate your own life and how you want to live it. How do you go about it, Harris? What do you say? What's your thought?
You have to say to yourself, unless you're wealthy and you have an excess of money, which still doesn't mean you should squander your money. However, going in for the $3 coffee instead of the $1, and the person says, I had someone say to me, hey, that's my little pleasure, and I'm going to do it. And I say, great, so don't talk to me about, you're jealous of me that I'm down to the Caribbean every year or I run out to Europe. Because that $2 a day difference at the end of the year is $700. And you start multiplying those little things through the year because you bought the cup of coffee here instead of there. You multiply it. Well, there's your Europe vacation for $6,000 at the end of the year. See, people have to get it. And when I say to people, you can't have it both ways. And I would sooner take, get my cup of coffee in the little grocery store, and do all these things and take my vacations. I love it. I love my life.
How do you start? Do you sit down with a piece of paper? What do you do? Do you get the family together, your significant other, and say, let's look at our budget. Let's look at our numbers. Where are we spending our money? you know,
right?
And then say, you know, I'm spending, you know, $10 a day. Maybe I could take a lunch to, you know, I can have a yogurt. I can lose some weight. Well, what's step one here, Harris?
Step one, you're nailing it down. Is I would keep a record of every single dollar I spend throughout the day for several weeks. Keep a diary, whether it's a credit card or cash. And then you're going to look at it and you're going to say, for instance, here's an interesting thing. Do you know grocery, you go supermarket shopping, okay? Wednesday late afternoons is when they put things on sale. Same items, they go on sale, supermarkets, on Wednesday afternoons. Airline flights.
I only buy food that's on sale.
Yeah. So, but it's so in the little things. Oh, this fellow, it's funny, who would cut 20% off his living expense out in L.A. with the 3 kids and the piano lessons and whatnot. He told me, they make carrot juice at home, and they buy 3 bags of carrots a day. Well, he bought them in one store. So he breaks up his shopping, Paul. He does some shopping in one store, some in another. How about if I tell you he saves $3 a bag of carrots, $9 a day on 3 bags of carrots? Is that insane? We're talking about $50 a week, $2,500. That's half of a Caribbean vacation.
Harris, you have a website also, I hear.
Yep, it's the www.harrishelps with an S, harrishelps.org.
And what are you doing here? How are you helping?
You know, you read what it's about. You can order the book, and when you order the book, it's on Amazon too, but you're better off ordering the book through the website because you can sign up for the free monthly updates. Every month, whoever bought the book, when they sign up, they get an update with 10 articles, money-saving articles, scam notices. I had one person who wrote to me. He said the book was terrific, but he says one of the updates talked about the right way to do a resume. He said for months I couldn't get a job. He said as soon as I changed my resume as per the article that was in the update, he says I got the job the minute I changed it. So those updates are great. So
you're sharing wisdom. You're sharing wisdom. All right, Harris, you know you're a great man. I know that from the time I talked to you to begin with. I also know that because our good friend Joe Franklin suggested that I speak with you. And Joe hardly ever says to me, you know, you need to talk to this, my friend Harris. That's you need to know that's a very big honor. And
that is.
Joe, it means the world to me. And so I couldn't wait, and now I can see why. You know,
Joe's a saint.
It's my money, and I want it. So that's the book. It's out now, Harris, and you can get it on your website. You can get it on the Amazon, and get this newsletter. Everybody, sign up because that's a good idea. And when you get the book, so obviously he's practical conversation.
Yeah.
Thank you
Harris
very much,
helps.
Harris. I'm going to ask you one more question.
Sure.
Do you have anything else you wanted to share?
No, just to make sure it's harrishelps.org. Not .com. Some people can't find it. They go to .com.
Okay. All right. That's important. And we're going to put down some information about you and so on to go along with our conversation right now. What's good news for you, Harris?
What's good news for when I hear people being helped? When I get, Paul, it's not a matter of selling the book. It's a matter of the incredible feedback I get from people. I have people who said to me, you know, this particular situation I was in wasn't in the book, but I said to my husband, you know, I know what Harris was due. And sure enough, we got paid $1,200 some odd dollars for this and this thing that we thought we couldn't. So people who are reading it are getting it. They're standing up for themselves. Okay? They're not just accepting, oh, this is a bill that you have to pay. That's a big thing in the book, thinking that because you got a bill that it's, you know, legitimate that you have to pay it. That's, I mean, if it is, you do. But there are plenty of times not. You know, you get bills from car rental companies and things. I mean, the stories are in the book, you know. And
all
people
right.
just,
all right.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Harris, thanks so much for being a good guy who's sharing his good information with our community, and I look forward to speaking with you again.
It's my pleasure. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
All the best.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.